There you go, we're on. Way! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you may be tuned in to SCFC Fan TV, another edition of the Sunday Bunch. Joining us tonight, we've got Terry and the Mackham Cabby is with us as well. Terry, how's your day been?
Brilliant, because of that win. Absolutely over the moon with that. Fantastic. And even better because Newcastle got beat.
Right, well, there you go. And the Mackham Cabby, how's your day been?
Great, and cherry on the top after today. 2 cherries on the top with the Mags getting beat.
So there you go, 2 cherries. Right, don't forget, of course, so you can join us via the live chat. We are live, so if you want to have your say, stick your comments in there. We'll try and get through as many as we can. As per usual, Las Palmas Mackham. First one up there already, and SJ 3000 on there as well. If we get to Europe, is our squad big enough? We will get onto that. Tony Lee is there among you in the team. Our very own Emma joined us as well, and Miles Percival first up there. Before we start, we do want to give a massive thank you to Wolf Competitions, who are the sponsors of our channel for this season. Massive thank you to them. They do help us out. And what we are going to do, get your comments coming in, because the best comments, we're going to pick 2 or 3 of them, and we're going to give the best 2 or 3 a £10 voucher to spend on Wolf Competitions. All right, so we'll do that. And we'll do that at the end, and we'll tell you can do that. So you can go on a Wolf, and you might win yourself some cash or some prizes, holidays, cars, whatever. Philly, you're quiet, whilst the Mackham Cabby sounds like he's got a megaphone. I don't know if I can turn myself up. We'll sort that out just now. All right. Anyway, Sunderland 1, Tottenham 0. You saw the lineup. Terry, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised the 9 started, and I was surprised Jim was on the bench. But at the same time, they all did really well in the last game. So, end of the day, Regis Lebris picks the team, and I was pleased to see Nordy back, pleased to see Roofs back in goal, and Lafitte starting. So, apart from Ballard really still injured, the rest of them are already fit and firing and raring to go for this last, sort of opportunity to try and make it some sort of Europe competition.
Oh, you just held back a little bit there, Terry, didn't you? You was getting carried away, and you were thinking Europe, and then I thought
6 cup finals to go.
You backpedaled on that. Mackham Cabby team lineup. Your thoughts?
Yeah, like Terry, I always get surprised when you see Luke 09 starting, don't you? But give him credit. He's getting started for a reason, because he seems to be getting better every time. It was great to see Roofs back. Still no Ballard, of course, but I was pleased. I was pleased with that lineup. They're all gelling well together. So I wasn't concerned with that really at all.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, back to the chat here. Jim Buck, good evening all. Sorry I can't make it tonight. He's listening, driving down the M1 on the way back. All right, so it's a happy drive though, isn't it? Emma down there. Oh, holiday sounds good. Holiday to Europe next season. Well, I've been winding our lass up again, especially with the Mags getting beat and saying, "Where's my passport again?" And she's going, "If you go to Europe, that's it. That's the marriage over." So if there's any single ladies out there next year and you want to trip to Europe, I hope she's not watching this. She's watching this. I'm dead. I'm absolutely dead. Singing do what did do, running past defenders, scoring 1 or 2. That's Mark Rodham doing that. Tony Lee, Rig been really good for the last few games as well. Robbie man amongst boys today. So yeah, pretty good. I thought, I'll be honest with you, right? I didn't go to the game today. I hold my hands up. All right. I've come clean. I did my show. I had the day from hell yesterday. Just very quickly, we was World Competitions, and we were new sponsors of the Rugby League, Super League. This was us, by the way. That's us. That was us down there. We were down at Old Kingston Rovers. So that's how the day started. I left there at 4:00, and then this is how it ended, like that. So I got a blowout on the M62 on the way back, shredded tire and everything. So that's what happened. So I left home at 4:00. I got back home at 20 to 12 on the night. So I've had to sort I need the car tomorrow. I've had to get a mobile repair people and charges an absolute fortune to get a new tire and all that. So I didn't go, but I did manage to watch it on the telly. Now it was a bit. I mean, I don't know. I always seem to watch the game different to you, right? But it was a bit of a nothing. Nothing seemed to happen. We seemed to sort of cancel each other out. I thought, Terry, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, apart from that we'll talk about the penalty decision. Apart from that, I didn't think really Spurs threatened us a great deal until the last minute, maybe to the first half when Roos made a good save. I thought our defence was really, really good today. I think it's probably one of the best defensive displays we've had all season. I thought they held them at bay. I thought Ronaldo was one of his best performances. I've seen him in a Sunderland shirt, and I think that we just cancelled out Spurs' attacking flair, and you can see why they're down there struggling. They didn't create that much, and we never really create a lot of chances ourselves anyway in games of football. So we're always going to win by the odd goal, which we tend to do a lot. So we've had a couple of 1-0 wins and a couple of 2-1s. So I never really expect us to win by a big margin. I thought it'd be a 1-goal thriller, 1 goal in it, and that's the way it was. But yeah, I mean, I never really thought at any point. Again, apart from the penalty match, I never saw I was on the other side of the pitch. I never really felt as if we were in any danger of letting a goal in, to be honest.
Right, Malcolm Cabby, yourself. I mean, like I said, we just seem to cancel each other out, and not a lot of chances. But like Terry says, we don't seem to sort of make a lot of chances. I know at the end of the day, the important thing is that we got 3 points, which is what it's all about. Your thoughts on the game itself, Malcolm Cabby?
It reminded me of when we played the Visitors at the Stadium of Light. It's sort of like there was like how I put it. There was a lot going on, but nothing happening at the same time. It was weird. I always knew it was going to be a tricky game. You're thinking possible new manager bounce with Spurs, and today is going to be a battle of mental. With Spurs possibly wanting it more because they're fighting for their lives. We're safe, but no, it didn't happen. I thought it was going to be a frustrating afternoon because there was chances going begging again for Sunderland. I thought we could at least got a couple in the first half. But what surprised me was like how little Spurs offered. I mean, you wouldn't think they were battling for the lives third off bottom, would you? Sunderland, for me, I didn't think they got out with second gear, and they looked comfortable practically for the whole of that game. But overall, I thought we were comfortable, even though you wouldn't think it looking at the score. But very, very poor Spurs side that.
Right, okay. Well, they are bottom 3, and I don't know if it's just me being not very nice, but or if it's the common opinion. But I'd like to see Spurs go down. I just it's a reality check for these sides who just think they have a divine right to be up there. I mean, the Premier League has got to be the toughest league in the world, really. I mean, you look at, the French league and Paris Saint-Germain and stuff like that, and the Germans, and it's like, I mean, Scotland there, you've got a couple of teams, and a lot of the foreign leagues are like that, Spanish league, whereas in the Premier League, there's a lot of teams, are hard to beat. Just very quickly, anyway, let's go to the chat here. Emma says, don't forget the likes. All right, we've got 23 likes at the moment. We do like to try and get to 100 if we can on a Sunday. Hit the thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do that, and it will help us out. Coffee Goblin says, Europe, ole, ole, ole. Well, like I said, we will get onto that shortly. Las Palmas Macam, I have to say the ref had a good game today. I tend to agree, although SJ3000 said the Spurs fans thought that the ref cheated them out of the game. Well, let's get on to that penalty then. First half, I know Terry, you was there, so it's difficult to see. We watched it on the telly. Me and Magam Cabby there, obviously, but not together because we're not a couple, not yet. Anyway, so I mean, when it happened, I was gobsmacked. I was thinking, I just didn't see it, even in real time. I didn't see it. But Magam Cabby, your thoughts on it? I mean, obviously VAR when it showed it back, but when it first happened, did you get a bit of a scare?
Yeah, I feared the worst. I just thought it was like the Luke 09, like a salmon going upriver, just sliding straight in. And he had his legs bent, just his knees, and I just thought, oh, that just looks like a Stonewall penalty, and it had to be poor Luke, didn't it? But when it showed you the replay, first of all, I could see why the ref give it from normal play, what you'd seen, but the more I seen the replays and stuff when they were rock and roll and the graphics for VAR, the more you could see there was hardly any contact, with no contact at all from Luke 09, and the player went down just a bit too easy. So you got to give ref the credit, because when they run over to that monitor, they usually never overturn it, but they did, and I do think it was the right decision. So he's a lucky lad, Luke 09, because it could have easily been a penalty, but I think it was the right decision.
Yeah, fair enough. Terry, obviously at the ground, it's difficult for you to see, and it was at the opposite side to where you are as well. So when it happened, I don't know how well you saw it. Was it a scare for you?
Yeah. I just presumed it was a penalty, and then after about a couple of seconds, you think to yourself, "Oh, I hope VAR intervenes, VAR." And as soon as he starts walking to the monitor, you know it's going to be overturned. That's what they do. So I was absolutely over the moon when he's walking towards the monitor. And now they show you in the ground on the big screen, so you can see the replays, and it kind of looked like it was either nothing. You know what I mean? I think Alderweireld got just a touch first. It said number 15 got a touch on the ball before, obviously, the other player came in or whatever. So yeah, it wasn't a penalty. So happy days. I would did.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it could have been a different ball game if that touch kind of happened or whatever. I mean, Luke 09, and I love Luke 09, and I'm not gonna slate him, but your heart is always in your mouth when Luke's about for things like that. Ian Wilkinson on the chat says Kim showed Nordy is better as one of the centre backs, and we need a right back. Rig back to his usual self on there. Apparently, according to the Spurs fans, Brobby should have been sent off. Well, that's what we're going to get on to next anyway. So 31st minute, there was a bit of a push, and it looked like Brobby had sort of pushed the Spurs player in the face. So I don't know. I mean, it was up by where you are, Terry. I don't know how well you saw that.
Yeah.
Could that have been a red card, do you think?
Your heart goes in your mouth when you see it happens, but just before that, I think their player fouled Brobby, in my opinion. I think he just, I don't know what he did, pushed him from behind or something, which meant his arm sort of went up in the air. So I didn't think that was going to be a red card. I always thought it would be a yellow card. I was more worried in the second half when people were shouting behind us saying, "Oh, he's just pushed the keeper over. This is a red card." I was thinking, I've never seen anything. What have I missed? But so he didn't get a red card. At the end of the day, I thought Brobby had a decent game.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when I first saw it, I did think, and I said, "Well, he could be off here." But then when they played it back, no, it was nowhere near. Your thoughts on that, Malcolm Cabby?
I didn't even think it was a yellow card. I could understand Brobby's frustration, because as far as I'm concerned, it was the player coming onto Brobby's arm. It wasn't even his elbow. That's what I seen. It was the Spurs player coming on to Bobby. There was none of that at all. Nothing. I'm totally with Bobby because he was like a Grand National loss today. He worked his socks off. He didn't stop. I could purely see his frustration. I don't even think that was a yellow, Phil. Phil, but it just wasn't.
Phil, Bill, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
People on here said like Tony Huntington, probably shouldn't have even got a yellow. Johnny Cool is saying likes the way the ref pulled play back with no advantage from fouls. He was very, I'm going to say, was very good today, the ref. But I don't know if that was because we just seemed to get a lot from him. And but I can see it from a Spurs fan's point of view. If I'd have been watching it from their point of view, it seemed like they were getting nothing. And the first time he gave them something, there was a massive cheer went up from them. As we've been there ourselves with it as well. But quite a few bookings for the Spurs players in the first half. Do you think that their game plan was to sort of try and bully us, sort of upset our game and stuff like that, Terry?
Maybe it was, yeah. I mean, they were trying to be quick on their counter-attack and get up the pitch as quick as possible. But end of the day, I mean, for me, for the referee, it's good to see us finally get a good referee. We've had some real stinkers over the last few months. So it's nice to see one, going in our favour and to say, heads or tails over a period of time, but leaving itself out. But for me, it hasn't. But it was great to see a good referee today. I think he's been here before. I'm not quite sure what his name was called, but I just think the Spurs players, that they deserve the yellow cards. They're kind of sort of a bit of a sort of a dirty bunch, and you can see why they're in the bottom three. That they're not creating much. They haven't got much flair up top. They're clearly missing anything in the final third, and they don't look to be sort of singing off the same hymn sheet. And they look to be like, even with the new head coach Bouncy, he was supposed to come in and probably do a good job. Probably be a little bit too soon for him, to be fair. So maybe it was good getting him the first game he's been in charge. But yeah, they're looking serious trouble, Spurs, like.
Rob Jones, the referee.
Yeah.
Like I say, I think the way he tried to play on, and then when things wasn't happening, he was pulling it back and sort of getting a free kick, which was pretty good. Jason Ashman says Bobby was a lucky man, quite dangerous, pushing Romero the way he did. If he wasn't on a yellow card already, the referee would have given him a yellow for that 100%. And he's a Sunderland fan, yeah, we know. Like I said, different points of opinion there. Matt and Cabby, did Spurs have a game plan? They did get a lot of bookings, certainly in the first half.
I think Spurs' game plan, because they'll have done the homework. They've seen what Sunderland have been like most of the season. You don't go like mostly unbeaten at home for nothing, do you? I think their game plan was to come to Sunderland, to stifle them, to frustrate the Sunderland team and the crowd. And as Terry said before, it didn't really work at all. I mean, they just look. They've got good players in that squad, but they're not connecting. It's like they're a circuit board, but they're not all wired up. They just look. Each individual player just looks lost. But that's the vibes I got. They were just trying to sort of like, they did have good long spells of possession, but they didn't do anything with it. Now I don't know whether there was play acting or when there was that 11 minutes added on where their keeper did he collide in the midships with one of their players and hit him in the town halls or something. I don't know whether that was probably genuine or there was more play acting going on to sort of, because it was just after we took the lead, wasn't it? But yeah, I definitely think Spurs, their game plan was like, let's just slow it down a bit and frustrate the Sunderland crowd and try and dictate the play, but didn't work.
Well, their goalie ended up with, it was head injury, wasn't it? But the player he bumped into, I mean, on the telly, it looked like he'd been knocked out. It looked like he'd been shot. And so I don't know exactly what's.
He was in tears when he walked off, so he's obviously been in a lot of pain and that. But when I first seen it, I thought, here we go, the typical tactics to slow the game down when the other team's just scored. But it did look nasty. Obviously, he's in tears.
Right, okay. Miles Percival on the chat says ref even give a couple of fouls against Robbie. So, like I say, it was quite like Terry said, I suppose, in a way, refreshing to get a decent ref, because even in this division, we've had somewhat have been, they've had you scratching your head. Tony Huntington says the number of off the ball fouls by Spurs was ridiculous, and they got away with them. There was a few of them, definitely. Johnny Cool, apparently Hume is only one booking away from a ban. Coffee Goblin, 3 new manager bounces that they haven't got so far. There was that thing when they did get rid of their manager. I thought that's typical. You know what I mean? They're having a right nightmare, and then they get rid of the manager, and who do they play next? Us. But fortunately, it went our way. I'm just wondering how worrying this is, and if the focus now is definitely Europe, which I'd like to think it is, because we are, that close now if we can put a good run together. But our ability to score goals is, it's concerning. I mean, we was in the 40 minutes before we even had our first shot on target today. And I know what we say. Who cares? A scrappy 1-0 win with, one shot all game. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter. But, is it a concern, Terry?
Not so much this season, I would have thought, because, let's face it, we've got a good defence, so the defence makes up for the scoring goals. And I think I remember back in the olden days, was it the Arsenal who won the league under George Graham when they were winning by 1-0 all the time or something? Yeah. So you get those, you get seasons where you're just missing that final jigsaw puzzle or whatever it is. But I think so long as you've got that solid defence and good midfield, and you can keep clean sheets, and you can score the odd goal, and if you let a goal in, you score 2 goals against Newcastle. So I'm not bothered at this moment in time, but it would be nice to sort of maybe solve the puzzle over the summer.
Right, okay. Before I come to you, Malcolm Cabby, quickly back to the chat down here. SJ3000, how'd you like this, Terry? 1 more win and we're mathematically safe. So there you go. And Johnny Cool says, "Mind the canyon." Is that the new saying then? Malcolm Cabby, we do struggle to score goals at the moment, and like I said, first shot on target in the 40 minutes. Is it a concern for us?
It is. I like that comment. Mind the canyon now. Mind the Mariana Trench. The way things are going. It seems to have been a problem since we lost Ross Stewart. To be honest with you, it's frustrating. It's like there's that build up. Oh, he's a goal. He's a goal. He's a goal. It just seems to break down. We seem to get these gilt-edged, glorious chances. We just not seem to be putting them away. But the league table doesn't lie, so we're obviously doing something right. And I think, our defence has been absolutely solid for most of the season, especially Roofs. Alderete in that today, to me, he was one of the best players on that pitch. So yeah, it's all right. You could score goals for fun, but you could also let goals in for fun, which is just as bad. So I think, luckily we've had such a superb defence. That's we've got away with it this season, but it needs addressed. It does need addressed. We could do with that number 9 that's just there at the right place at the right time to put these chances away. The Kevin Phillips, the Darren Bent types and stuff. I think we're missing that type of a striker.
Jermaine Defoe. Coffee Goblin says need a new Kevin Phillips, and I must admit, and when I said it, I did mean it. When we beat them up at their place, and we got 6 points off them, 2 wins. I said, I don't mind now if we lose every game the rest of the season. Now we're going enough to stay up. We've beaten them twice, and I meant it. I thought, you know what I mean, but I don't want that to happen now. Not at all. Not now. We could have a good chance of getting a European place. Terry?
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny old statistics, isn't it? I mean, there's only 2 teams conceded less goals than Sunderland, but I think there's only 2 teams scored less goals than Sunderland. So it's you can definitely say we're good in defence, but we shy at scoring the goals. If that made any sense.
Right, okay. Ian Wilkinson on the chat says Lafayette and Rigg produce nothing. Can't rely on Brobby. Miles Percival likes Johnny's comment about the canyon down there. Joe says, good today, no complaints. I don't think any of we have got any complaints. It's all about getting the points. We've got the points. We've got to win. We're just analysing, you know, what sort of went on. But at the end of the day, like we say, we'll all take a really terrible game, you know, winning 1-0 and getting the points. But like I said, we are here to analyse what went about. So anyway, second half we come out. 60 minutes, we go 1-0 up. We get that goal. Not enough people shooting for me. There was I think Lefay had a chance. I think it was before that where he could have just shot, and he's got a good shot on him anyway. Lefay didn't try to pass it, and nothing came of it. So when Nordy cut in there and had a go, great. And of course, I mean, massive wicked deflection. So a lot of luck involved with it, but you know, you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery. So 1-0 up. Were we worth our lead there, Terry?
Yeah, I thought we were just worth our lead. I thought the first half, I think Jacques had a shot just on the wrong side of the post where, you know, so I like to see players shoot from outside the penalty box. There's no harm in giving it a go if you've got a good run and you've got a good angle, and, you know, if you fancy your chances, go for it. And we've scored some decent goals over the last couple of seasons. I remember Serkin scoring a good goal. Was it last season or season before from outside the penalty box? And I think, yeah, I mean, I thought it was. I mean, it seemed to be in slow motion for me. The ball seemed to take forever to go in the back of the net. I was all disillusioned where it was going, and then when everyone cheered, it was a goal. So I was happy as anything. But yeah, I thought we were the better side. Definitely deserved to be in front.
Right, okay. Before I come to you, Matt Cabby, Johnny Kill says we need to address. We need a proven goal scorer for the Champions League next season. Well, that's not happening next season. I wish it would. My bet would come off. I'm gutted in a way because I got invited to the club. They have these partner days, and with us doing a lot of stuff with Wolf, I get invited to a lot of stuff. So I was at the Academy of Lights, and I was there legally this time. Found the parents' door, was allowed in, and all that. And Gazolfi was talking. Luke Gordon was there, and Gazolfi was talking, but I was right at the back, and he was very quiet on the mic. And I really wanted to hear what was said, and I couldn't pick it up. So I might have been able to address some of those things back to you if I hadn't been a deaf bloke. Terry?
If, I don't know, I'm just grasping at straws here. If Arsenal win the Champions League, do we get 5 places for the Champions League next season?
I don't know how it works. If anybody in the chat knows that, then... Yeah, possibly because they, I think they do because they go through as winners anyway next time. And I think it happened when Liverpool, well, I think it has happened before. I don't know, I'm not sure, but somebody will correct us, I'm sure, in the chat there. Matt and Cabby, 60 minutes in, 1 up. Bit fortunate for the goal, but like I say, if you don't have a goal, you're not going to score. Nordy gets the deflection. Were we worth our lead?
Yes, we were. Like I say, Spurs were offering nothing, and yeah, you're both right. If you just shoot, I mean, the shot could originally go into the corner flag, but you know what I mean. we see it so many times. It can hit off the referee's backside, anything, a beach ball or out, anything can happen. And as it proved today. So absolutely. And this is why I say as well, it's like we need to improve on our set pieces and our crosses into the box, because if you've got a quality ball going into that 18-yard area, then it can bobble and land anywhere. But yeah, it just goes to show you, you know, if you got that chance, go on, have a shoot, have a shot, because it did work. And I don't. Was his shot going on target? Did you know? Or when he hit that, was it going wide?
I think so. No, I think it was going on target.
It was going on target, but it just,
I think it was on target, and it just got it wrong for the keeper, didn't it? So, but like I say, who cares? You know, well, it's gone in. We've won the game, which is what it's all about. I'm going to go to the chat just very quickly. If you can hit the thumbs up, we're on 50 at the moment, so another 50 people hit that thumbs up. Get us to that magic 100, as we like to do on a Sunday. On the chat, Emma says would love Europe, but rather go for it next season. Betting this season, and then next go for it. Oh, I think this season could. What worries me is the second season syndrome. You've seen it happen so many times. I mean, look at. I know it's taken a few seasons for Nottingham Forest, but Nottingham Forest were very similar to what we did. They spent big when they came up, seemed to do all right for a couple of seasons, and there they are now, sort of like battling relegation. So I do worry about that, although I do have faith in everybody up above who like make the signings. They've not let us down so far, and the club seems to have ambitions. So I'm hoping we're not going to fall into that trap. How many would we take to Europe? 65,000, Joe says. To be honest, when I was on about my passport and now I last went, well, you could go to Europe, really. I went, oh, European tour. And she went, no, I mean, for the first one. And I saw, but say nothing.
Your last means a holiday somewhere like Greece, doesn't she?
Well, I'll take her. Listen, if we're playing in Milan, then I'll say, do you want to go to Italy for a little trip out, my lovely? And we can do it like that. But she's not that stupid, to be honest. Right, okay. I'll tell you what. Right, substitutions eventually. I don't think a lot really happened in the game. I was looking for talking points. Substitutions, Hume for Mukiele, Talby for Rigg. Were they right? I'm sure Mukiele probably brought off because he's been injured and coming back. Happy with them subs, Terry?
Yeah. I saw Mukiele. He was like stretching a bit once or twice, so don't want to risk him too much, and he put a good performance in. It was, Hume come straight on, just a straight swap like for like, basically, in it. So yeah, I was pleased. He had a good game. Pleased he scored a goal. He's always got a goal in the back pocket, and he's Mukiele.
Right, okay. Malcolm Cabby, yourself? Good subs?
You what, sorry?
Good subs?
Yeah, absolutely. bit frustrated didn't bring him on earlier and all that, because I think that game would have suited Talby, to be quite honest with you. And for some reason, he's not getting the start at the minute. But yeah, I thought the subs were decent. Did all right. Not bad at all.
Right, okay. Couple more on here. SJ says, we might not be in this position next season. And I mean, all season, to be fair, we've been in a cracking position, looking like we've had a good chance of Europe. Then we had, I'm getting noises. Is that me or is that somebody else? I don't know. So we had, somebody's ringing a bell or something. I haven't got a clue what's going on. Right. Yeah, last season, early in the season, but then the AFCON and stuff like that. And we did drop off a bit, but we just seem to be getting close again now. I mean, we're 1 point off 7th, which a lot of the time is a European place anyway. We're only 2 points off 6th place as well, which is even more likely for a place there. Before I do, though, I do need to go to a quick advert down here. Of course, our Wolf Competitions are our channel sponsors. Apologies for this being... I'm going to find out what's ringing, why this is on as well. It's an old advert. I do apologise, but I've got to run this. Wolf Competitions, check this out. Once again, we'd like to say a massive thank you to our channel sponsor for this season, Wolf Competitions. You can check out their site at wolfcompetitions.co.uk. If you haven't been on there yet, you want to check this out. All sorts of prizes you can win. Currently at the moment doing the Halloween chances to win 66 pence to enter that if you want to get yourself on that. Loads and loads of different competitions you can win on there. Premier League, the Premier League wheel, you get yourself on there as well. Check that out. £2 entry. Find yourself, if you land on a certain football team, there's different amounts of money you can win. Superb site. If you've not been on yet, we have loads and loads of winners every day. We are changing lives, giving money away, loads of chances to win. You can even go on the £1 million wheel. £1 million. I know, it's just madness. Check it out. I just scanning through here. Have a look what there is. wolfcompetitions.co.uk. Check it out. Be a winner. And once again, thanks to Wolf Competitions for sponsoring SEFC Fan TV for the whole season. Yeah, thanks to them. And as we said, what we're going to do, we're going to give 3 of these away. All right, so a £10 voucher to 3 of you tonight. I'll tell you how we do that just before the end of the show. 10 quid, you can get yourself on there. £10 site credit. Spend it on there. Spin some wheels. Flip some coins. Do whatever you want. And hopefully you'll be a winner, and a big winner. Right then, just very quickly, 11 minutes added time. In those 11 minutes, we just seem to sit back, and of course, Tottenham, desperate for something from the game, started coming on to us. And I was saying to our lass, I said, "Well, you just know what's going to happen here." Terry, do you think that was the right thing to do? Sort of shut up shop and go, right, well, come on to us. Because it gets their tails up. They're going for it. I found out what the noise is, by the way. Gear Network, whatever that is, texting me. Right, go on.
I don't think they do it on purpose. I think it's just a matter of the opposition team just trying to get a goal back, So I don't think it's on purpose. I think 11 minutes, maybe it's a little bit harsh on how many minutes there was. Yeah, I would say a good 8, but 11, a bit long for me. But I thought we dealt with it quite well, apart from one shot that was over the crossbar. I think Roof's just got his fingertips to it to put over, which I think was going to go over anyway. I wasn't really that worried, I think we, like I say, I think I always fancied during the game we'd get the 3 points, we'd keep the 3 points, and happy with the win. Like Matt McCabe said, it was a bit like the Newcastle game, we kept them at bay, apart from we scored our one player scored our goal, from a deflection. Still didn't acknowledge his goal because his shot was on target. Yeah,
I just at my age, it doesn't do me heart any good. That's all. Your thoughts on it, Matt McCabe? Sitting back like that, is that the right thing to do? I mean, I suppose it shows we have confidence in our defending.
It just creates anxiety, doesn't it? I mean, especially when you just 1-0 up. Anything can happen when you just that 1 goal up. I knew there was going to be a lot of added time around about that with what happened. But surprisingly, well, Spurs, like I say, even with the last 11 minutes, they didn't offer anything. Couple of little flutters, but we're relatively comfortable with the last 11 minutes, which is even more bizarre, like I say, with a team fighting for the lives of the bottom 3. But yet again, just goes to show you perhaps how good and confident we are at back. So we did whatever we've done, and it's worked, and we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters when the full-time whistle went.
Absolutely. Just very quickly on the chat, Johnny Cool says we're too well run to have the second season syndrome. I think I probably agree with you on it. I just I think they have a vision, and I think it's a well thought out vision. And so, in those we trust. I don't know what's happened, but somebody's obviously got hold of my number, and it's gone nuts. That's not what we need. Where we are as well. David Scatty. I remember loads of fans saying it's too early to get promoted. Well, Scott Bain says, let's get carried away, man. Yes, let's do that, I suppose. Magnum Cabby, man of the match. Your man of the match then.
I'm going to give it to Alderete at the back. I just thought he was just superb. He just did not put a toenail wrong today. It was between him and Robbie, because he was just he was just massive up front when he's just no one could get the ball off and bundle him over. Just typical Robbie, isn't he? It's just like he's just a monster. But at the back, Alderete, I thought was just class. I really did. I thought like he was turning the forwards, and he was just laying passes off, getting us out of trouble, and he did that all game. So I'm going to give it to Alderete.
Right, okay. Sorry, for you?
Yeah, there's a few people that could have gotten it today, and Alderete was good, Mukeli was good, like I said, Robbie was good up front, midfield had a good game, but I think Reinildo was absolutely fantastic. Left back, I think some of the challenges in the second half he put in, he's just heart and soul, he gives it everything, and even one of the older players in the squad, he's got the passion and he gets stuck in, and some of the well-timed challenges as well, they could have been a bit iffy if he'd got dropped down in the box, but it was just spot on for me. It was 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Like I say, I always seem to be watching a different game to everybody else, but so I've seen a couple of people have said Diarra, and I didn't think he was. I didn't think he shone that much for me. But I think Alderete, when I was watching it, had a cracking game. But like you said, Terry, a number of players really could have got it. So we asked the question then: is it all out for Europe now? I mean, we're that close. It would be silly not to go for it, Terry.
Oh, well, got to, haven't you? I mean, let's face it. I mean, it keeps the season going a bit longer. I think we've got 3 home games, 3 away games, some tough games in there. Man U at home, Chelsea at home. Chelsea might have fought the bits a little bit. We've got Aston Villa away, which is a tough one next week. Everton away because they're playing canny as well. So you just keep going one game at a time.
Sweet Jesus,
grind out the results. It's there. It's in our own hands, because if we win every game, I think we've got an absolutely fantastic chance of doing this. And we don't have to. And the thing is, we don't need to win every game either. Just keep getting a few wins there, a couple of draws there, try and stay unbeaten for the rest of the season. I think it would be great. Like someone says, I don't care if people think we're not ready for Europe. I think we've done so well in the transfer window, getting us prepared for the Premier League, and look what it's done. So why can't we just do the same again next season? Get us prepared for Europe, even if we can sneak into the conference. Just go for it. It'll be a great experience for the team and for the fans.
Right, okay. Yes, it's one of them things. I mean, I had 2 bets at the beginning of the season. I had finished top 4, which I know was silly, but paid a lot of money. But I also had one to finish top 10, which is looking pretty good. But it's that thing. I've never seen Sunderland play in Europe. So if we could make it into Europe, I think there would be a lot of people who would travel abroad just to be able to witness when it says do that. And I do think we are close. Martin Cabby, all out for Europe now. That's the charge. Do you reckon?
I can see it both. I can see have we got the squad depth for that? Could it hinder your season for next season if we did? But there's also, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Why not? How many of us said, we're not ready for the Premier League next season when we're in the Championship last season? And, just look where we are now. So why not? You've got now to lose. I mean, I don't think the quality in Europe was what it was, as good as what it was years and years ago. So, yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Of course. of course, the higher up in the league you finish as well, the more money the club's going to get, I believe. So, absolutely.
Terry, you want in there?
Yeah, the thing is, like, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it, where the better you do, the more players could be up for grabs from other teams, and you've got to try and hold on to your best players, of course. But I've heard some crazy numbers bandished around for the likes of Robin Roofs could be going in the summer for like 40 million, 60 million here and there. But I would love to keep the lad. But if a stupid number comes in for him, will the club use that money to bring in another 3-4 players or a couple of players? I personally would love to keep him, and I hope he will stay. But sometimes, what kind of number is a kind of number that the club would have to like sort of accept, that they couldn't refuse?
It's just before I go on to at this point, if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, 59 likes. We need another what's that work out? 40. Oh God, I mean maths are all over the place. 41, I think. Yeah, hit that to get us to 100 if you can. Yeah, it's a bit of a thing, because if we push for Europe and we get to Europe, right? Obviously, we're going to need a bigger squad for Europe, without a doubt. So, if we got to Europe, could that hinder our progression? Unless, of course, in their plan is up for a season to hit Europe. So then, if we achieve that, this is what we do. But could it mean, if we've only got so much money to spend, are we going to have to buy more players at a lesser quality? Do you think, Matt and Cabby?
It's a tough one. More players for lesser quality. Look, I think we're just got to put our trust in the hierarchy. I mean, what they're doing so far, you cannot really fault them. You just can't, and it's about having the right balance. It's getting them scales right. You don't to overtip either way. So, whatever they do, I'm just so confident what the hierarchy does. Just by what they've done. I mean, look, how many players when we signed last season to get us to get us ready for the Premier League? How many of us actually knew who they were? Because I didn't know many. Yeah. And they've hit the ground running. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Terry, we'll definitely need a bigger squad. Could that sort of like, veer away from what the plan is, do you think?
I like to think maybe, say, for instance, if we did get to Europe and we did get the conference, that would like sort of maybe one or two of the players that may have their heads turned might stay. I mean, I keep hearing about Robin Roofs could be leaving in the summer, and I hope that's just people just spouting off a load of shite, and I like to see him stay at the club. But like I say, if someone comes in for 40 million or 60 million, would the club use that to buy 3 quality players to, sort of strengthen the squad? But a player like Robin Roofs, for me, is going to be hard to replace, because the keepers that we've got, Patterson and Melberg, is probably just, they're not ready for it next season for me. So what that means, we have to go back in the window and probably buy another keeper? Or do you think one of those two could step up to the mark next season?
Well, I mean, Roofs is the one what's been touted about. If anybody's, I got off a mag last week. Are you worried you're going to lose any of your players? And I said it. The only one I could really think of was Roofs, because Roofs is the one who's been, like you said, touted about. But Johnny Cool on the chat says there is a clause in Roof's contract. If a certain bid comes in for him, then he can be away. But I mean, it's one of those things, I mean, you were saying, 40, 60 million. If a number like that comes in for him, would we be foolish not taking that? However, because of the prices of players now, what would it actually buy? 40, 60 million, I mean? It's a tricky one. For me personally, we go all out for Europe. We're that close now. We've got to go for it. But next Sunday is Aston Villa away, so 2:00 kick-off again, away to Aston Villa. This game, will this define our season for if we're going to Europe or not? If we lose this game to Aston Villa, do we forget about Europe then, Terry?
Well, it makes it a lot harder, doesn't it? Let's face it, Aston Villa drew today with Nottingham Forest 1-1 away. Villa are going all the way in the Europa League, so they've got their eyes on that prize. Obviously, they still want to finish in the top 5 or 6, you would think. So they haven't got the biggest of squads. So if we're going to play Aston Villa, probably I would say this weekend coming up is a good time to play them when we get most of our players back. And I'm not sure how good their strength and depth is with injuries at this moment in time. But like I say, they'll play it they played during the week and they played at the weekend. So they've got a lot of games. I don't know when the next round of the European games is, whether it's this week coming up or the week after. I'm not quite sure. So, but yeah, for me, I think we have to try and win the game, but not lose it as well. So, I mean, against Aston Villa, most people now would take a draw, wouldn't they? Because they're a good team, and not many teams go there and get a result. So, I think, yeah, anything better than a defeat is a good result against Villa.
Right, okay. So, if we was to lose to Villa next week, Matt and Cabby, is that Europe sort of out of reach, would you say?
No, I don't think so. The way the Premier League's been, I mean, if you look at that, especially the middle section, I mean, it's been one of those seasons where you win or lose, you drop 5 or 6, 7 places, and it's been like that for the whole of the season. So I don't think it will be. No, I do know it's a good time to play Villa. I think they're about 5th off bottom in the current form league, which I was surprised when I last checked. Considering when Villa went on 11 consecutive wins and they were knocking on the door to challenge for the title against Arsenal, so they've run out of steam. So I think it's a good time to play them, but I definitely don't think Europe will be out of the question if we do lose. But it's a tough place to go, Aston Villa, Villa Park. It really is, and if we get a point, I'll be more than happy with that.
Right, okay. We've got Las Palmas Mackham's made a comment in the chat here, and it's news to me, so I don't know if you lads know anything about this, or if not, anybody can throw any light on it. But it says we'll have less to spend if we make Europe, as we can only have 70% of the turnover, unlike in the Premier, where we can spend 85%. Do you know anything about that, Malcolm Cabby?
Pass. I don't know. I mean, look, there's that many rules and regulations and clauses for how much you can spend in this. I just find the whole lot confusing. I mean, I can see that there could be some truth in that, but yet again, I wouldn't really like to comment until I see it in the black and white. So I'm not too sure.
See it in the what?
The red and white. Oh yeah, man.
Terry, do you know anything about that?
All I've heard is, again, I'm going back to the analogy of roofs being sold for 60 million. They could reuse that money and spend it all. So the whole 60 million that they did get for a player, they could, you could buy 2 players for 30 million a piece, which is, it's going to help in the long term to strengthen the squad if you can find a good replacement as good as Roofs, which is going to be difficult.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, what was our most expensive player? We paid 30 million. Was Diarra. It for Diarra? Diarra we played. So, if we're going up another level, you're probably looking at doubling these sort of figures as well. So, anyway, Tony Huntington says, Johnny Cool says Las Palmas is correct. Tony Huntington says that 70% is for the Euro conference, apparently. So so we don't know about that. Terry always has also said he would take a draw next week. Martin Cabby, would you do the same? Take a draw now?
Massively, yeah. I think it's one of the hardest grounds to go to. One of the in the Premier League, Villa Park, and like us, they've got a really good fan base. Can be loud. So yeah, if we can go and get a point in silence, Villa Park, absolutely.
Right, okay. Just speaking about income here and stuff like that, Coffee Goblin is saying a new shirt sponsor next season. get the academy sponsorship and stadium sponsor, and we'll be fine. I have not got a bit of news, but because I can't say anything yet. But Wolf competitions are. We might have some news coming up for you in the next few weeks as well involving them, because they're heavily involved. Let's say heavily involved in football, and we'll keep it at that just for now. What about predictions for next week then, Terry? Aston Villa versus Sunderland.
I think it'll be a 1-1 draw, mate.
Right, okay. We'll take a 1-1. Matt and Cabby.
We're us having difficulty putting the ball in the net, but we've got a good defence. I think it'll be a very entertaining 0-0.
Right, okay. A very entertaining 0-0. I'm going to go 1-1, and I'll be happy with 1-1. But if we can just scrape a scrappy 1-0 win, I'd be absolutely dancing for joy with all that, without a doubt. Look, we've got 68 likes, which leaves us 32 short of our 100 we'd like to get to on a Sunday. So, just hit that thumbs up, make us happy with that. I'm quickly going to do, like I said, I've got three of these £10 vouchers to give away for Wolf Competitions. So all you have to do is go on Wolf Competitions. There's a code I'm going to give you, which you can log in, and it'll give you £10 credit to spend, and you could be a big winner. And hopefully next week we'll have people come back and saying, I've won. I mean, you win up to 125 grand. That's how good it is. But what I want to do, as soon as I find it here somewhere, is where we at? Sorry about this. I'm gonna put our email address up on screen, which is there. All right, that's our email address. All right, this is what you got to do if you want one of these £10 vouchers to spend on Wolf Competitions. All right, the first 3 people who email us at that address there and just say, I love Terry. That's all you've got to say. The first 3 people, we're going to send you the voucher code to spend on wolfcompetitions.co.uk. So send it to SAFC FanTV73@gmail.com. We'll get them in and we'll get those codes out to you, and you could be a winner with Wolf. And we have got more things over the weeks coming courtesy of Wolf Competitions. That just about wraps it up for another week down here. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And we will be back. Oh, what's that? Was that just a... Are you wanting in? Or it's just a thumbs up. It's a thumbs up. There you go. Right, okay. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, we will be back next Sunday doing the same again. We've got content going on through the week as well. Terry, would you just like to say bye to everybody? Try unmuting your mic, though. You do it every week. There's not a week goes by.
Save the best for last. I will enjoy your week, folks, and hopefully another 3 points next Sunday.
There you go. And Matt and Cabby?
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Great show as always. Enjoyed every minute and second of it. How are the lads? Let's make the gap even bigger.
Fantastic. And don't forget, once again, a massive thank you to our channel sponsors, Wolf Competitions. Check them out. There is a link in the description below, wolfcompetitions.co.uk. Get those emails in. I love Terry. You could be a winner. Get some site credit to spend there as well. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about us. And if you're a member of the channel, watch for your name in the credits at the end. We'll see you later. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.